Hello, what do violin playing, teaching, and making have in common? Interesting question, isn't it? Well, what are the tools we use as violin teachers? Some beginning violin teachers use this, tape. They put tape on the fingerboard to tell the student where to put their finger to play in tune, which is a useful thing. As a refined musician, as a professional musician, we use this tuning fork. We want to be absolutely in tune. It's either A440 or it's A441 or it's A442, and we make a big distinction. So like, 1/4 of 1% makes a difference. You can hear the difference. What do we use? What tool do we use as makers? This. And I would suggest that we use this tool too much as violin makers, just as we use maybe this too much as violin teachers. Okay, let's talk about what I'm talking about, because that might be a little bit confusing. When you put tape on a violin, for a beginning student, say your first finger goes here, and they go like this, okay, and you'll be able to tell right away, am I in tune or not? Well, if you have perfect pitch, you'll know it's not very good, is it? It's here. And there's even a difference between this and this, right? You can hear the difference in the pitch. What are we listening for? You can still hear it. The resonance. This A sets off this A, and this A sets off the E if your violin's in tune. I'm not sure if you can hear that on the camera. And then within the instrument itself, we get all kinds of resonance. Okay, when I play, let's talk about one more pitch that we do as teachers. Some teachers call them the bell tone. So if I play this third finger on the A string, the D note, what do I hear? I hear the string vibrating from my finger to the bridge. I hear the string below it split into two. So we've already got 3 segments of string ringing. And here, I hear the string below split into 3 pieces. So I have a total of 6 segments of string ringing just for that one pitch. And that in turn sets off other resonances. Now if it's almost right but not quite right, like we're out by maybe a millimeter, no good. Everything's dead. Okay, so now let's talk about how that pertains to making. When we are going to make an instrument, the very first thing we start with is a mold. This is a mold for a Violoncello da Spalla. Here's the latest instrument I made. Now you can't go out to Strad and buy a poster for a Violoncello da Spalla, can you? So how do we know it's going to be right? You see, a lot of luthiers resort to copying instruments off of posters, and they're very precise, and they're measuring them. But you know what? Paper's not stable. It changes with humidity. And you can take this tool all you want and get everything exact, and it will be the same as playing this note almost in tune. It's pretty close, but it's not right. That's right. So, what does all that mean? What it means is if you really understand what to listen for as a musician, then you can play really in tune. And if you really understand what you're doing as a maker, and you get the instrument really in tune, boy, then you really have something going, don't you? You have an instrument that's going to resonate, and it's going to look beautiful because everything's right. Some of you might remember the famous teacher Ivan Glomian, who said, if it looks beautiful, it's right. Okay, that's a wonderful little thing he said to Joshua Bell in a lesson once. But if you have an instrument and you get everything right, it's going to look beautiful and it's going to sound amazing, and when you play it in tune, the whole instrument is going to vibrate and come alive. So that's what violin playing and teaching and making all have in common. And I'm very fortunate to do all 3 things at a very high level. And I really enjoy it because I love to see people succeed, musicians who are really serious. My name's Stephen Collins, and I specialize in making concert-grade instruments for musicians who really want to take their playing to the next level. Thanks.